Yo, good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger boogie. Please go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. And if you're new to the program, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right, so you come to the right place. If you're looking to heal yourself, we're going to teach you how to heal yourself. But you got to know that you can't heal yourself unless you know thyself. So here we teach you about the human frame and the human design so that you guys can be well on your way to your happiness, wholeness, and wellness that you're seeking, okay? So this is a free space. You guys don't have to pay for anything that you hear here today. All you simply got to do is pay attention. And how we do that on the HerbMan Show is by double tapping that screen and getting us up to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll get into the subject matter at hand, all right? So look, go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on around this thing so we can get right into it. You guys, look, we have been inundated about understanding. I'm gonna say that we've been inundated with life without understanding. Okay, we've been inundated with life without understanding these forces of nature. You only got two sides of the forces of nature. Okay, we're going to simplify this thing all the way for Rico now. You only got two sides of the fence for the forces of nature. I want somebody to remember that you only got two sides. Okay, two sides. You either gonna have force of creation. Okay, somebody put that in the chat, please. You either got the force of creation or you got the force of resistance. Okay, those are the two sides of the coins, people. And both of these things are necessary. Okay, that you can't have one without the other. The one won't work without the other. These are necessary because this is your polarity. Okay, this is going to be your polarity. All right, so this is going to be your polarity. Okay, you can do it that way. You can do it this way. It really don't matter. it don't matter. Okay. But this is going to be polarity, okay? Now, without these two things, you can't really be able to, I'm going to say, appreciate this experience in the finite way that you could without these two things. You need force of resistance. You must have the creation force. Let me repeat this one more time. You guys were coming live from South Africa, live on YouTube and live on TikTok. Please go get somewhere and get situated, okay? Now, here's the thing. You got to have both of them. How in the hell you going to get healed if you ain't sick? How in the hell you going to get rich if you ain't poor? How in the hell you going to get a family if you lonely? if you're not lonely. So therefore, there's one thing that requires another. So the force of creation is it's a freeness, it's a spirit. The force of creation is a freeness, it's a spirit. The force of creation is a freeness, it's a spirit. It doesn't like to be confounded, it doesn't like to be bound, it doesn't like to be limited, it doesn't like to be in confinement. It doesn't like this over here is free. Okay, this some bitch over here is free. It does not like prison. Okay, it's free. It does not like to be bound down, prison, free my slave, free my people. This thing is screaming, free me. It does not ever like to be bound to any what? Laws, limitations, statutes. Okay, so over here, it's a little bit different because this is the force of resistance, right? So instead of it being free, it likes form. Okay, so instead of free, it likes to formulate. Instead of free, instead of intangible, I like tangible things. Instead of it being so bi-directional and being so maneuverable and being all over the place, I like for you to formulate some things. Now remember, I told you that the word became flesh, right? So Jesus became flesh, the word became flesh. Well, the word was free, okay, and then it got imprisoned, it got limited, it got formulated into something tangible. So the word became flesh. These are necessary dualities, polarity that's necessary to create the charge. The charge will create the change within your life, within your paradigm. All this information you get in your owner's manual. That's why the owner's manual is the most important piece of information on the planet today. Okay, now at the end of the day, when you got this force of resistance right here, it's necessary to formulate that which is running free internally, in the soul, in the spirit, in the mind. Those things which are running free, they need to be formulated. So before I know your thoughts, you have to formulate it by words, or you got to formulate it by action, or you got to give me some kind of body language, some kind of sign language. In order for me to be able to know what's in here, you have to act it out, speak it out. It has to become flesh. Thought has to become flesh. Thought has to become something that I can identify, that I can perceive as something that you're wanting, needing, or desiring. So at the end of the day, my point to you is that this polarity is necessary. Your sickness is necessary for healing. Your loneliness is a setup for your family. Now you understanding what we got to get it on. So now what I'm trying to tell you is that you're trying to come down here and abolish all of this force of resistance. You don't like force of resistance. But without the ingredient, you don't create the change. Okay, now you call this force of resistance the devil, you call it evil, and it's neither. It's neither. It's just an energy that is required. It's a frequency that is required. It's a resistance that is required. Okay, now in the olden time they would call this Saturn. Okay, and then in the olden time you would call this Uranus. Okay, Uranus is the godfather, Saturn is the child of Uranus, right? So then you have the same thing. When you're understanding the force of resistance and the force of creation, then you're also understanding reproduction. You guys, listen to what I'm trying to get you to understand here. You guys got to get this information. You must get your owner's manual. It is top line. It is the top line. If you're looking for top line shit, you know what I'm saying? For old funky measly $50, you get top shelf. Okay, so here's the thing. You got to have these two because this creates the reproduction. This creates the birth of something. This is the birth and the rebirth, right? The death and the rebirth. So you must understand that this is a polarity that creates a transmutation. It creates, it transforms, it renews, it develops something new. Okay, but you need these two. So I need for you to be sick, but I need for your mind to say that you're healed. And then with a mind saying it's healed, with a body saying it's sick, creates the ingredient for the change. You see? So we don't need to throw nothing out the way. We just need to use it in every aspect. We need to use this recipe all the way down to everything. We need to use this recipe all the way down to everything that you're looking for. because it's the recipe for life. Okay, so now when you take away Saturn, Satan, you take away the limitations. Okay, and you bring in this freeness, this openness. What happens is now you got this thing called you can call this Eve. Okay, and then you can call this Adam, or vice versa, however you want to put it. Right, Eve and Adam. You need the force of creation plus the force of resistance in order to create new life and to create a new thing. It ain't even got to be new life. It's just to create a new thing. Okay, to create a new thing, there has to be a force of creation, something that is diabolically used to being anabolic, right? So this side over here is called anabolic. Anabolic is always growing, is always developing, is always aspiring to expand, right? So the anabolic action in your body is going to build up. The catabolic action in your body is going to break down. The acidic action in your body is going to break down. The alkalinity part of your body is going to build up. Okay, you say you don't understand that. Well, if you got a pool outside, the acidity in your pool, if your pool get too acidic, it's going to corrode all of the little paint, all of the little iron and metal you got in there. You know, your little rail that you're walking down in. Let that water get too acidic, that rail is going to rust. Let that water get too acidic, that paint is going to go away. Let that water get too acidic, your light bulb's going to start. Let that water get too acidic, shit going to start opening up, holes going to come in there, because acidity corrodes. It's corrosive, right? Now, if your water get too alkaline in your pool, shit gonna start growing in there. You're gonna start seeing little green algae, little red algae. You start seeing your water turn color. Why? Because shit grows in the alkalinity. Again, force of creation and a force of resistance is necessary in order to create something new. In order to create something new. Okay, so now what this looks like, if we can go back a little further into the story, then I'm gonna give you something else. Okay, so now we understand that this means man and woman. Okay, now we understand that this means energies, species. Okay, but let's go back a little further and understand the story and why you must understand how to be able to maneuver this thing. Remember that your force of resistance, right? Your force of resistance or creation, however you want to do it. One is moving up and down while the other one's moving in and out, right? So you have this limitation. Now, when you're talking about the electrical side of things, that's more limited than the magnetic side of things. Remember, we're electromagnetic. So the electrical side of things is a more up and down, but it doesn't go further out of the body. Your aura, okay? Your aura, your up and down, it doesn't go as far up or down as we need for it to be. Now, the magnetic energy, though, is going in and out, right? But this actually can go outside of the body. So your electric is using your skin mostly, your nervous system, your mind, your brain. This right here is the heart. The magnetic is the heart. This is the brain-heart coherence. Okay, so now you understanding that this stuff is necessary. I must have an up and down, and I also must have a in and out. All of this is in your owner's manual for a funky measly $50. If you guys are interested, please DM me. We'll get you that information. So now when I understand that, okay, so I got something that's forming things and I got something that's free in me. Okay, I got something that's formulating what is in me free. Okay, this freedom hits the force of resistance to create the form. Listen to what I'm saying. This freeness hits the wall of the force of resistance to create the form, to create the thing that is necessary. So you got these free thoughts, you got this free mind, but it hits the force of resistance to create the actual thought that we can interpret in the human spectrum. Some stuff you're not gonna let leak out. Some stuff you are gonna let leak out. Some stuff you ain't got to worry about letting leak out, because we're gonna know. I'm gonna know that you was living bad because your health is bad. I'm gonna know you was eating bad because your stomach and your digestive system bad. I'm gonna know that you were doing something bad because your skin gonna be bad, or your this or that. So it gonna tell on you regardless, right? So again, freeness takes form. It ain't nothing you can do about it. But that's a good thing, because the thing is that we ain't trying to stop it. We trying to control it. especially in your time of despair. You're not trying to stop and change this dynamic or recipe of life. You're trying to utilize it to the best of your ability. And when you get into situations, when you're getting into tough times, when you're getting into things that you can't get yourself out of, then guess what? When you can't get yourself out of it, man can't get you out of it, machine can't get you out of it. And what you start to do is you start to give up from the force of resistance. But I'm telling you that this force of resistance is an opportunity for the force of creation. Okay? That's all that we're trying to tell you. So now when you look down the line and you look at all of these stories, another thing is Eros and Psyche, right? So Eros fell in love with Psyche. Psyche couldn't look at Eros, otherwise she would have fell in love with Eros. But Eros was like, don't look at me, I'm gonna fall in love with you. Well, what is Psyche? Psyche is the soul. Love fell in love with soul before soul fell in love with love. Love saw soul as the most beautiful thing. Eros. This ain't nothing but these two things. Love didn't do nothing. Love was a freeness. The soul was a freeness. Whoever you want to say Psyche is the force of creation, fine. We'll say love was the force of resistance. But love fell in love with the soul. And then the soul fell in love with love. So love came around here and fell in love with your eternal soul that can't go nowhere. And then your soul then looked at love and fell back in love with it. And then now love got to go and hide you somewhere, right? And then you go through all of these trials. Well, why does the soul go through the trials? Why did the soul go through the trials to be in love with love? Love, the one that came over here and fucking fell in love with me. I ain't goddamn know nothing about no goddamn love. I was sold. Love done brought his ass over here, fell in love with me, and then he do me good, and then so shit, you do me good, and I want to fall back in love with him. I fall back in love with him, and then instantly I get to go through trials in order to sustain that love. Get it. So therefore, that love fell in love with the soul. The soul fell back in love with love. Something tangible, something that you can grasp, something that you can feel, something that you can hold, something that you can taste. Even though you can't see love, you can feel it. And so it was tangible. It was word made flesh. It was when he said he loved me, looked at me a certain way, I could feel love. And so Psyche, soul, got something tangible for the first time. Soul got something tangible for the first time. It got a form. It was able to touch, grasp, feel in a way that Psyche never did before. And remember that Psyche was a mortal woman that then became immortal. Now, I come on here every day to teach you guys that I ain't chasing diseases. We're chasing death consciousness. Because we believe that the death consciousness is disease. It is the number one cause of disease. And it's because you think that you can do something. It's because you do that. It's because it's real. Have you not think of violence? Do you not think of taking life? Then life don't get taken. Violence don't get committed. If you, my brothers and sisters, don't think violence against your brother and sister, if you don't think that you're God to take life, then none of this stuff is possible if it's not a possible thought. But because it is a possible thought, it becomes a reality in your life. Now, the biggest thing is the story of Adam and Eve. If you believe this, okay? If you believe in this story of Adam and Eve, you got kicked out of the garden and you only got promised 120 years, which is what we're trying to get you to. And the only reason why you got promised this is because you now think like a God. So then they don't want you to live long thinking like a God. Huh? Why you don't want me to live long thinking like a God? Again, if you have the knowledge of good and evil, then your perspective can be skewed and you become a very, very egregious God. in your own paradigm, to your own self and to your own community. So because you got the knowledge of good and evil, you can judge a thing. And when you judge a thing, you go pick up your gun and go try to be the judge of it. When you judge a thing, you go pick up your knife and try to be the law of it. When you judge a thing, you go try to hurt your brother and your sister. And so with that kind of knowledge, I damn well you won't live long with that kind of knowledge. You got to believe in everlasting life. But because you believe in death, you kill. So because you got the knowledge, you want to judge a situation, then you deserve to be limited. You don't deserve to have that power for forever. But when we relinquish that power, when we give that power up to hurt ourselves, to commit violence to one another or ourselves, when we give that back over to the one who created it, the natural selection. You can call it God. I just say fork it back over to natural selection. Get back up under natural selection. Get back up under the circadian rhythm of the nature. Get back under the nature's rhythmic flow. Get back under the heartbeat of nature. Get back up under the bind and the comfort and the friendliness of man and land. Get back up under that relationship, and you'll see a lot of things differ, because when you get back to your natural understanding, that's when you supernatural. When you as man go back to your natural abilities, that's when you become supernatural. But when you as man seek unnatural things, then that's when you stay in your natural, never to see supernaturality. Now, so what supernaturality is? To give back over your gift. But what is the gift? The gift is that you can judge a thing and then you start to promote it based on your perspective. But if I clean you slate and you don't know what's good and what's bad, and you don't know what's good and what's evil, and you leave it in the hand of nature, then everybody get to live until nature says so. Everybody get to live till nature says so. But when you God, you don't deserve to live for long. Okay? You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. We are full of copper. Iron is why we live to 100 and not 1,000. No, that's not true. But thank you anyway for your comment. But that's not true. Okay? Some comments. That's why we are born as lead that fell from a tree. No, we're not born from lead. That's why we are brown as lead that fell from a tree. Poetry, what you talking about? No, you're not brown because of lead. You're brown because of melanin. Okay, you're brown because you have melanin in your skin. Okay, not because of lead. Okay, all right. Some folks they be talking the lack of magnesium. There's no such thing as magnesium, for real. But I just use that to teach y'all. But there's no such thing as these vitamins. Vitamins mean vital minerals. The vital minerals you already got in you. Duh. Vitamins means vital minerals. Where your vital minerals you already come equipped with. The only thing that you need is the other minerals, right? The trace minerals that you don't produce. But vital minerals you gotta have, you already got them. It's the trace minerals that you don't have that you need in food. So then, what are you talking about? So I don't even believe in the vitamin game, bro. It's inorganic. It's an industry. Okay. Now, do you come with stuff missing? Yeah. What is that stuff missing? It's just all about your cerebral spinal fluid. It's all about the makeup of all that type of stuff. Yes, they're going to put them names on it. So I use it too in order for you to understand, in order for to decode the actual issue that's going on within you. But the reality of it is when you start talking about it as a subject, I don't really, you know what I mean? When you get to me, it ain't no subject to me. Where are you? What I've been looking for? You at the shop. We're in Africa. I buy trace minerals, magnesium from my Amazon brother. See, that's what I'm saying. You're doing stuff inorganic, so you can't talk to the people. Okay? You can't talk to the people if you're taking inorganic magnesium. That is a tall tale sign that you're not there yet to teach. But you're still learning. That don't mean that you ain't gonna be no teacher. Yes, you eventually can be able to teach. But until you learn what's real and what's fake, you can't teach this stuff. Okay. And that's why I teach this, because we need to learn what's real and what's fake. It is the fake things that are causing the most mistakes in our life. And it's because we keep choosing it because you don't know what's real from fake. So your discernment, your dreams, your epiphany, your ability to understand and discern is off. So just like right then, you came in talking good, but then you let me know what class you was in when you say I take magnesium from Amazon. They let me know you still in elementary school. Okay? You can't be taking shit from nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You can't take shit from nowhere, bro. You got to know that off the rip in order to teach. Okay? Organic. Okay? So now, the force of creation is free. The force of resistance is stagnation. Both of these things start to create form. Okay? They formulate things in our life. So at the end of the day, this is not a bad thing to be in having your life. Okay? Whether it be the Adam and Eve, whether it be the Eros and Psyche, or whether it be Uranus and Gaia, you know, Uranus being that rebellious thing, Gaia being that stationary life form, that force of creation. So then you got Uranus being that force of resistance. Gaia was that force of creation. They get together and they produce life. They produce something new. Okay, so you need this force of thing. Don't stop calling the devil, stop calling it evil, but start calling it nothing. If you can't call it nothing else, start calling it necessary. So again, the lower self is the same thing as the force of resistance. Stop calling your lower self enemy. Stop calling it the devil. Stop calling it the death. Stop calling it this and stop calling it that. It's not a bad or a good. It's not a good or it's not a bad or good thing or right or wrong thing. It's a necessary thing. It's necessary. The body was necessary for this particular experience. You need it. So why try to fast it out? Why try to just try to starve yourself to death and do all these types of things? You need the body. It's a vehicle. It is moving your mind. It is moving your brain. It is allowing you to be able to go to the places and see and experience the stuff that you need to experience. Your brain has these hands and your brain has these feet in order to be able to use and manipulate the resources and be able to get to places that you need to get to. So you need the body, brain. Without the body, then your little ass would have been ate up by an eagle. An eagle could have eat your ass up without this body. Only thing keep these folk from fucking with you is your little body now. So you need that body. That body is a protector. It wards off things, but it's also you can use it as an antenna. Is also can be used as a transmitter. It also can be used as a what you call that thing? Like a thermostat or something that monitors everything, right? So your skin is monitoring everything. Now, yes, it's limited, but you got something else within you that goes a little further out than your skin. What is that? The heartbeat, right? That's that radiance. That's that radiance that are going out. So when I'm teaching you guys about how to be able to heal yourself, stop trying to negate one side. We need the sick. Otherwise, how in the hell you gonna be healed? How you gonna heal yourself if you ain't sick? You need sickness to be healed. You need the sick to be healed. You need the lonely to go through the transmutation or the transformation. You need the thing that you don't want. You don't want to be poor and broke, I know, but you need it if you're trying to use it to create. I'm going to use this force of resistance to create. That's how you look at it. I'm going to use this sickness to create my healing. I'm going to use this brokenness to create my riches. I'm going to use this isolation to create my community. Any other questions? What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Keto? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You guys keep tapping out, keep talking. You guys keep tapping out, keep talking. So again, this force of resistance and this force of creation. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is that you are now in a necessary position. You are now in a position to where it is necessary for you to understand what is the next step. If you are sick, you are in a necessary position to now understand what is the next step. If you are broke, you are in a necessary position to now understand what is the next step. If you are isolated or lonely, you are now in a position to understand what is the very next step that I make. The very next step that I make after being considered lonely, when I'm defined as lonely, when I'm being labeled and judged as a lonely person in my perspective, in my engineering, when I see and view loneliness, I say, well, shit, that's me. So I have been identified as a lonely person. What is the very next step I do once I've got that diagnosis? Is that then my first step is going to be toward the community that I'm looking for. You can't go no further. When I'm sick, I'm sick. So the very next step is toward my healing. Can't get no sicker. Or at least you wouldn't want to. So you want to use these particular opportunities. These are opportunities for you to be able to get well. Any other questions? Anybody got any questions? Please keep tapping. I'll keep talking. If you got questions, you keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Okay? So it's very necessary. This is necessary. You can't just always come over here and just trying to get a force of creation without the major ingredient, which is the force of resistance, and vice versa. They must be understood so that we can have everything that we need to be able to provide you with the change that you're looking for. I have a divine feminine that I need you to build with my brother. Nah, you don't got no divine feminine for me to build with. I don't know what you're talking about. Like every melanated post, regardless the message, uplift our own peace. What's going on, man? You said what now? Like every melanated post, regardless the message, uplift our own peace. I don't know what y'all talking about, but I don't give a damn about skin color. All brothers are everywhere. They ain't just cause they ain't gotta have the same skin color. Brother, relax, you too defensive. Now you talking too much on my live. That's why. You talking too much on my live. So we're gonna mute you, homie. You can still stay, but we're gonna mute you. Thanks for the wisdom. Yes. Not a problem. Okay, not a problem. All right. So now when you're understanding that, now it's just all about understanding how to create the charge. That's all we're trying to do. How do I create the charge within me? Okay, I'm in this situation. The charge is going to create the change. Okay. The charge is going to create the change or the transmutation or the transformation or whatever you want to call it, whatever words you want to use. This and this creates the change. Okay. So just like a man and a woman, force of creation, force of resistance come together and they reproduce something that's new. Okay, something that's new. So there, yes, alchemy. There you go, Elis. So there is nothing different, nothing new about this thing. Now the only thing is that we get all of this of force of resistance and force of creation. We get this information with your owner's manual. Okay, when we get that birthday, we get that owner's manual. Then now we're understanding what's the positives, what's the negatives, and what's the remedy. You see, what's the positives, what's the negatives, and what's your remedy. Okay, thank you. DM me if you got questions. All right, so now, with that being said, okay, you got the catabolic, you got the anabolic. Remember that we told you guys, if you get to a point to where you're creating too much, okay, this is where cancer comes in now. Okay, when there is no force of resistance and you get too free radicals, right? They get too free, they take over, they cause mutiny within your system, right? So this anabolic, this force of creation. So if you're dealing with cancers and stuff like that, then guess what? You already know what side is on, right? That force of creation. That means that now you have this, but you don't have a balance of resistance. So there's more buildup, less breakdown. That's an imbalance. Okay? That's an imbalance. Now, if you have a degenerative situation, then it's going to be opposite. A degenerative situation is going to be catabolic, right? It's breaking down more than building up. So the imbalance has been there, right? So now that you have this imbalance of breakdown way more than build up, then guess what? Now you start the degenerative process, right? So now this is happening regardless. But at perfect balance, you don't get to the degenerative state. At perfect balance, you don't get to the cancerous state, to the tumorous state. Okay, so when it's in perfect balance, there's enough catabolic to enough anabolic that keeps the balance going on. But when one goes over the other, and we can tell this in your owner's manual, actually, you can tell it from your birthday. Which one am I in? But really, you can tell it from your diseases. If you're gaining weight, which one of these are you on? Force of resistance or force of creation? If you're growing a tumor, which one of these on? Force of resistance or force of creation? Right? So we already can kind of put our issues there. If you got arthritis for most of y'all, you don't have any cartilage. Is that growing or is that degenerative? So we know what you're dealing with. The force of creation or the force of resistance in your life. We can tell that all by your disease or your birthday. Okay, what's going on? You guys keep tapping out, keep talking. Okay, so that's the importance of being able to break things down all the way to the finite, get them to these two categories, and then begin to categorize your issues and being able to see exactly what your remedies need to be. Okay, and we do that for you in your owner's manual. If you guys are interested with the owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you that information. All right. So that's pretty much what you're getting. That's what we need to be understanding is this force of resistance and this force of creation. This is your Adam. This is your Eve. This is your male. This is your female. This is your masculine and your feminine energy. This is your left and your right brain. This is your right and left hemispheres of your brain. This is how everything works in nature, but also within you. Okay. And so what we need to do is understanding this force of creation, right? What we need to do is we need to activate this in order to be able to get you to where you need to be. And a lot of times this come in very quick. It's like lightning, right? So that's why we tell you about the epiphanies and the dreams and the epiphanies and the imaginations and, you know, these unctions and all this stuff. When you get that quick download and all that type of stuff, now you're understanding that that's going to be able to be the thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you across Jordan with your owner's manual. We're going to get you from the physical plane into the spiritual. Go grab the message that you need for your life, bring it back, and then start to apply it. He said, what? Yes, your owner's manual for a measly, funky $50. We're going to get you from your physical issue, from your physical situation, and we're going to get you to cross over Jordan into the spiritual. How am I going to get you to do it? It's going to be very subtle. So you don't have to be a believer. You can be an atheist. You can be a Christian. You can be a Jew. You can be a Muslim. You can be a whoever you're going to be. You can not believe or believe. It don't really matter. But we're going to get you over here. So how are we going to get you over here? Because it's not going to be religious. It's going to be spiritual. So this is for everybody. We're going to get you over here and you're not even going to notice it. And it's not going to be something that you got to be like, I don't believe in that and all. I don't want to partake in that. You ain't got to worry about it. It's for everybody. You know how we going to get your ass over here? Because we're going to make you sing. We're going to make you dance. We're going to make you laugh. And we're going to make you cry. So therefore, we ain't got to read no book. You ain't got to be affiliated or associated. We bypassing all that. We're going to humanism, where everybody can be a part of the puzzle. So when you go to humanism and you bypass all of these things of divisiveness, then you'll understand that there's something that we all can partake in, right? And all of this is very subtle. All of this is very slow moving. You ain't got to mama. If you're 100, you can do it. And if you're 10, you can do it. So you don't got to worry about nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you out of your physical turmoil. And we're going to get you into these trance states. When you get into these trance states, then you're going to get an epiphany. When you get that epiphany, you're going to come back and say, I know what I need to do. And that's how you be the God in you. That's how you heal thyself. That's how you control your paradigm. You got to go to your higher consciousness and retrieve that which is missing in order to provide the solution for that which you don't know. And it don't matter what subject matter you run into. When you go to your library, which is in your DNA, okay, your DNA ain't nothing but a library of so many different things that are stored in you that you don't know about. Again, pressing all the buttons in your spacesuit to see exactly what supernatural qualities you have, to see exactly what supernatural abilities you have. So when we work this mind in the oneness, they call it gamma. Okay, these things are going to get us to get into that gamma. Now that we're working our brain in the oneness, which is what God intended for us to be able to do in the first place, then now you're tapping into your supernatural abilities. And if I can make you laugh, sing, dance in the face of your force of resistance, if I can cause you to do a force of creation, singing is a force of creation against the enemy, which is the force of resistance in your life. You praise break. The praise break is what this means. You break the prison when you praise. You break out of the prison of the thought, out of the prison of the suffering, out of the prison of the inability to do something, the lack. You break out of this prison of limitation when you begin to praise break. So you sing your way through your force of resistance. You can dance your way through your force of resistance. You can laugh your way through your force of resistance. And you can bond and you can cry and you can touch your way through these forces of resistance. And so what I'm teaching you is how to conjugate up the most simplest things in life, which is to be more peaceful, more love, more joy, even in the face of danger. And when I can get you to do that, my family, we can get you to heal yourself. You don't need medications. You don't need nothing. There's nothing more potent on the planet than your serotonin. There's nothing more potent on the planet than your endorphins. There's nothing more potent on the planet than your GABA. There's nothing more potent on the planet than your acetylcholine. There's nothing more potent on the planet than your oxytocin, than your serotonin, than your dopamine. So what we're trying to do is get you to produce the medicine that you need. But meds are not just talking about medications. Meds is the medium. Meds means the medium, right? The medium, the meds, the mediator. Who's going to stand in the middle of this force of resistance and this force of creation? You guys are asking for medications to stand in the middle, or you're asking for a Jesus to stand in the middle. Neither one of them are extending your life in any way, or they're not really organic to you. Okay, they're not organic to you. They're inorganics. So we know that inorganics, you need it all the time. But an organic motherfucker come in now, you don't need it all the time. Organic know what to do when they go in. It knows how to synergize. It know how to get the job done without robbing Peter to pay Paul. It don't take away from you. All it does is harmonize you, get you back into balance, and it's going about its business. So the herbs, they know what they're doing. But my point to you is that we're using inorganics to mediate this particular thing, and it can't be mediated by inorganics. If you're looking at something to mediate, to bring back the balance between the force of resistance and the force of creation in your life, then instead of doing the meds as a mediator, how about we do these things to mediate? A bad day, laugh it out. See, a down day, dance it out. An emotional day, you cry it out. A glorious day, you can sing it out. But my point is why can't we use these as our mediators? Why we got to be using medications and and meditations and all these different things when we can use these as our meditation tools? Having your mind be on the right things is having your mind fullness. You trying to stop thinking from all kinds of stuff that's going to be damn near impossible for most people. So just let that mind be on things that are above and not on things that are on the earth. So when you start to do this right here, you just keep your mind, don't even worry about what's in front of you. Remember that this is word made flesh. So if you're looking to say that I'm trying to be healed, you got to know how to make your word flesh. If you're trying to say that you want to get over dialysis, you got to know how to make your word flesh. If you're trying to sit up here and say that you're tired of being broke and tired of being impoverished, then you got to know how to make your word come to manifestation, make your word come to existence. If you say that you're sick and tired of being lonely, then you got to be able to make your word come to flesh. And I'm tired of living around folks that don't know how to make their word come to flesh. I'm tired of being around dreamers, and that's all it is a dream. All my life, I've been around people that wanted to do something, and to this day, they still ain't did the shit that they wanted to do. And to me, that's a travesty in life. That's a travesty to be coming into this paradigm and you so soaked up by your engineering that you can't see the world for what it is. You got folks that are still don't know how to speak this, still don't know how to go there, still don't know what the world is. God damn, by the time you get to a certain age, you should know that the world is bigger than that little street you live on, and it's up to you to get off that street. Don't let the street keep you. You get a certain age, you'll know the world is bigger than your community. The world is bigger than your tribe. The world is bigger than your school. The world is bigger than your neighborhood. And by the time you figure that out, you need to go get you some world. Get your ass out of that tribe, that neighborhood, and go experience this thing so that you can get the reality of what it is and forget all this programming. People still think that all the world is just a hood and it's this and this. Man, you better go out and get you some of this shit, so that you can evolve, so that you can open up, so that you can be able to expand your understanding. Because if you the judge and you so puny minded, right? You the judge, you supposed to be the judge of me, and you haven't really experienced anything. And again, this is why people violence and kill and death, because you got the knowledge of good and evil. You be the judge. So let these be your medications instead of meditations and medications, right? Let these be your mediators instead of meditations and medications. Now, these are forms of meditation, so you still doing meditation. So I would rather just say, let these be your medication instead of meds itself. Okay? But these are meditative states. These are trance states. This is how you manifest. Your word become flesh. How do I heal myself? You can't just think it. You have to bring it into practicality. How do I get rich? You can't just think it. You got to be able to bring it into practicality. How do I get from my isolated state? You can't just think it. You got to be able to bring it into a flourishing, which means you got to know the art of manifesting. And I'm telling y'all, that's the problem. That's the problem. If you ain't getting the money that you want right now, you probably won't be able to get the health that you want. You got to learn how to manifest what you want. You can't be up in heaven and don't know these tricks, man. You know, like I said, how you call yourself a god? And I mean, what tricks you got? What power do you got as a god? If you can't heal yourself when you're sick, if you can't change your situation, then why call yourself a god? Like, why do we go that route? Like, what power do you have, God? So let me see some power to do the things and to elevate yourself and to live the way that you said that you want to live. Hell, I ain't rich, but I'm still living the rich man's life, because my riches ain't your riches. I just wanted to be comfortable. That means that at my level of understanding, I just wanted to be able to do anything I wanted to do at that level. I don't want no goddamn rich man's house. I just want my house. I don't want no rich man's car. I just want my car. I don't want no rich man's life. I just want my life. And whatever my taste buds is for my life, just make it comfortable for me to get that. So I don't need a whole lot of money to call myself rich. My shit is in the comfortability of me being able to do whatever I want to do. And right now, today, is me looking at you and you looking at me. I can go whatever I want, not what you want me to have, but whatever I want. If I want it, I can go get it right now in the sound of my voice. And that's heaven to me. That's rich. I don't want what you want. I just want to be able to get what I want. And I don't want everything. But the stuff I do want, I want to be able to be comfortable enough to get those things. And so I'm living a level of comfortability right now. And this is what rich is, me. Do what I want to do. Not what you told me to do. Okay? So don't get it twisted. Understand what you're looking for. Okay? Understand what you're looking for. That's right, brother. I'm with you. Yes, yes, with peace. Yes, yes. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, as long as you at your level, you good. So all I'm giving you is this recipe. This recipe is in your owner's manual, but we're just giving you this recipe. Okay? So yes, your sickness is a force of resistance. I get you. I know you want that motherfucker gone. It's a force of it's sickness. Okay? It's a force of resistance. All right? Poverty, because of the way we are engineered. Poverty will be considered a force of resistance because you think you need the money. Right now, at least anyway, you think you need money. So now if you're an American and you got the government shut down, this becomes a very big force of resistance to your plans, your goals, and everything that you're looking for in life. Let's keep it moving. Okay, sickness, poverty. Okay, and then we're gonna put isolation, right? Okay, isolation can become a force of resistance to you. Okay, because in a world where you need to network, you need to know people, you need to know things, you need to be able to get help and support in different areas of life. Well, you so isolated, you don't got that support system. So guess what? That can become a force of resistance to your plans, your wants, your needs, your desires. Okay, so you already got the force of resistance. Now, the force of resistance to me is nothing but the seed, because remember, the force of resistance is the masculine energy, right? So the force of resistance is the seed. Okay, now your force of creation has to be the ground, the soil in which this force of resistance get planted in. So now, if I plant this seed of sickness, it needs to be planted in a fertile ground of what? Not a fertile ground of sickness, a fertile ground of healing. So I got this sickness seed, right? I got this sickness seed, and I got this healing mind. They go together. Okay. I got this impoverished seed, because the seed is the programming. When you came into the paradigm, there's nothing you knew. They programmed you to say you rich, poor, middle class, low class, don't got no money, whatever the case may be. So that seed got planted into you, right? Okay. But you got a rich mind. Okay. Then you got this isolation that was engineered into you based on your own idea of yourself, how you get along with others, and how you get along in the social atmosphere, all that type of stuff. You deem yourself to be isolated. You judge yourself. Remember, you got the right, the good, and evil. So you judge yourself. So what you want to do is be more community minded, right? Or family oriented. Okay. Now, what's happening is I got this really going on. This is the reality. Okay, this reality is my limitation, my Saturn. Okay, this reality is my limitation. It's my Saturn. Okay, and if I'm trying to get off and up on the Saturn, I'm trying to get back to the Godhead, which is Uranus, the Godfather, which is Uranus, right? So if I'm trying to get to where I need to be, I got to create the dynamic. Okay, so I'm sick, but I got a healing mind. So I'm creating this thing. So sickness now is got its force of resistance. So the even the sickness got a force of resistance. The force of resistance for sickness is a healing mind. Right? So now, boom, I got this duality to where, okay, my situation, I ain't got a whole bunch of money in capitalism, no matter where I'm at, Asia, Africa, Europe, America, we ain't come in with a whole lot of money, and everybody need money on the planet. So at the end of the day, I came in what they would consider to be an impoverished circumstances, an impoverished situation. That's my force of resistance. But my force of creation is a rich mind. So now that rich mind creates the force of resistance against the poverty. So I ain't gonna be poverty long like my parents. I might not be broke as hell like my grandmama though, because my shit is my poverty is getting hit with a force of resistance because I'm rich minded. Hey, yeah, that little nigga there, he got to be thinking of this, that, and the third. Yeah, I'm broke, but I'm rich minded. So I use a lot of time thinking of a way out of this impoverished situation. I won't be here as long as the people before me. Now, again, isolation, the same thing. Okay, isolation is the same thing. It's my reality. It's my limitation. But my community mind and my family mind is a force of resistance against my isolation. So now, even though in reality I'm by myself, 5 months later, well, now for me, it was a year and a half later, right? From November to May, it was a year and a half, right? So you by yourself for a time, and then next thing you know, boom, now you got children coming, you got family. Damn, how in the hell you just went from 2 years and 2 years and a half after your divorce, from 2 years and a half by yourself, to now you having your whole family? Because I didn't let the isolation dissipate the mind. So my mind became a force of resistance so that this doesn't spread like cancer. Because if I don't get a force of resistance to this, then this is going to become a force of creation. It goes from force of resistance to force of creation if you don't have a force of resistance. Okay? So therefore, that's how you have to understand the game. All the way down to your life, you got to understand this game. Okay? And this ain't got nothing to do with man. This is the alchemistry. This is the alchemical structure of nature. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Okay? And what's happening is because we don't know this, we're going against a lot of this stuff. And there's a lose-lose situation because these things are imperative, but they're also there's nothing that you can do about it, man. This is how nature works. And what you'll see is that a lot of people get into these sicknesses and then they get sick-minded. So you stay sick. A lot of people get into these impoverished situations and then they impoverished-minded. So you stay impoverished. Get isolated, you stay isolated minded, you stay isolated. This is over half the battle. This is over half the battle. Yes, that's it. This is half the battle, baby. This is it. This is the remedy. Okay? This is the remedy so that you can get up and walk, so that you can go and talk, so that you can go do your thing, so that you can be whatever you want to be. Okay? But again, like I told you, when you're having this other consciousness in you, okay, this other consciousness, this death consciousness, then a lot of this stuff is very easy to just buy in, and it's very easy to just throw your hands up to the forces of resistance, and that's what's causing us to die. Okay, because of this force of resistance, without understanding the recipe, you get tired of the resistance. But you got to understand that this is a part of the recipe. It's a part of the recipe, man. Sparker said, this is the battle. Yes, this is the battle from within. Okay. And then once again, once we get you to cross over with your owner's manual, we're able to get you to get over into this place. Because guess what? A lot of y'all ain't gonna feel like singing when you fucked up. A lot of y'all don't feel like dancing when you messed up. A lot of y'all don't feel like doing all this stuff. But if we can get you up off your ass and move and get back into a celebratory state in your time of despair, it's all about the opportunity. You guys got to learn how to capture opportunities. Okay, y'all got to learn when shit happened to you. You got to understand it to be an opportunity. That means that if you sick now, you need to be healed now. If you broke now, you need to be is now. Your shit is now. You don't wear brokenness for 30 years. You don't wear sickness for 40 years. That's what y'all are doing though. Blaming it on mama them and blaming it on hereditaryism and blaming it on diet passed down. Stop wearing this shit, man. These things are not for you to wear for a lifetime. They are for you to see it for an opportunity. And again, if you keep missing these opportunities, then no wonder your ass is sick. No wonder you broke. No wonder you by yourself. You don't know when opportunities. And hell, we can't do that, nothing about that. That's just like a baby lion being out this motherfucker. If your basic instinct don't work, you're going to get ate up, baby lion. A baby lion will get his ass ate up out here without good basic instinct. If you a cub out here, if you a baby cub, if you a baby bear, if you a baby lion, I don't give a damn what they call it, a tadpole. If you ain't got good basic instincts in this natural selection, you pray. Y'all better wake up, you'll pray. Okay? So let's get you into your natural basic instincts and get you to be able to discern, get you to make better decisions. And then that way we can circumvent all of these particular things and also get you to understand the power of the mind so that when you go over here and get your solution to come back, you know not to be messing with that no more. You need to save that for your rainy day. That's your power. That's your thing that you need to be doing, right? And so we're understanding that when you're looking at Eros and you're looking at going back to Eros and going back to sight, all that is manifestation. Okay, all this is in a nutshell, your owner's manual, all this stuff is showing you how to manifest so that you can heal yourself. But you can't heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we teach you about the human frame and the human design so that you can be well on your way to this. But you got to learn. You finally got to learn how to manifest. If the hospitals ain't working for you, if the government gets shut down, you got to learn and know how to manifest. Can you heal yourself? Yes. But can you manifest anything that you want in life? Is there anything that you ever manifested? Do you understand how to make that happen? Like if you wanted some tater chips, how did you get them? If you wanted some water, how did you get it? If you wanted some money, how did you get it? If you needed some clothes, how did you get it? If you needed some substance, how did you get it? How do you manifest? Well, goddamn it, it ain't no different over here either. It ain't no different over here either. So you're getting sick and then you're forgetting how you manifest. You know, like how in the hell you sick all of a sudden, now you don't know how to manifest. Now you need medications. Why you need medications for? You know how you got the disease, right? Then you know how to cure it. Okay? Let's stop acting like we're forgetting in our time of need. And you know, the sad thing about it is true that once you do get into your sympathetic nervous system, once you do get into your fight or flight, yes, we do lose our ability to have exceptional logic and reason. That is perfectly understandable. So that means that when I'm stressed out, I don't think well. Duh. Listen to what I'm saying. That means that when I'm stressed out, I don't think in reason and logic well. So if the world keeps me under stress, half of your decisions are not logical or reasonable. And it's all because you've been up under the force of resistance, not learning how to create. Okay. Anybody else got anything else? Keep tapping out, keep talking, you guys. People don't realize they manifest every day, but they don't know how to manifest what they want. Yes, so there you go. So, but they do know how to manifest what they want. Love, see, that's what I'm trying to get you to see. Love, Gichuku, or whatever you call it, right? They are manifesting. They are manifesting what they want in that day. They may not be manifesting the life that they want, but in that day, if they need something to drink, they'll do whatever they got to do to get that drink. If they need something to eat, they'll beg, they'll skirmish, they'll do whatever they got to do. But guess what? Next thing you know, they'll have something to eat that day. People are manifesting what they want. It's just that in their time of need. Listen to what I'm saying. You manifest what you want. Want is one thing, but in your time of need. So in your time of need, that ain't necessarily something that you want. You see? So now you're manifesting what you want, but in your time of need, your logic and reason, because that want got you stressed the fuck out. That need got you stressed out. So your logic and reason go out the door. Now you there's no connection. You understand me? There's no connection. There's almost like a black and white TV. There's no picture on there now because now you are stressed and that logic and reason is out the door. So when they call you sick, you'd rather be sick than to understand how to think healing. Now, when they say you broke, you'll just rather be, it ain't nothing, you feel like it ain't nothing that you can do about it. My mama done broke, I'm broke, it is what it is. And so therefore you stay broke longer than what you're supposed to. Why? Because these things, again, there are opportunities. Can you see the opportunity? What is the opportunity? The opportunity is this force of resistance. This is my opportunity. This is my opportunity for this. When the force of resistance happens, creation should follow that. Okay, when Harry met Sally, okay, when the force of resistance happen, force of creation should follow that. That's just how it is. These two make love and to create that new thing in your life. Those are all entities, perspective, and decisions from desires. Yes. Okay, those are what you call the programs, right? You can only output the input. Okay. So you've been inputting into that program, then you can only output that which has been put into the computer. So the mainframe knows how to judge a certain way, knows how to label things a certain way. So what we want you to do is experience this paradigm for 1 moment, for 1 minute, without any labels, right? So when you're singing, don't worry about looking dumb. When you're humming, don't worry about looking crazy. When you're dancing, don't worry about looking funny. When you crying, don't worry about nobody and what they thinking about. When you're laughing, don't worry about what folks thinking about. And so for one moment, can you not worry about shit and just be in bliss? A pure bliss. Because that bliss is producing medicine in you that medications can't duplicate. Even the herbs can't duplicate what they do. There's not one herb on the planet that's going to give you serotonin. There's not one herb on the planet that's going to give you oxytocin. There's not one herb on the planet that's going to give you endorphins. There's not one herb on the planet that's going to give you GABA. That's going to give you acetylcholine. There's not one plant on the earth that's going to give you these shit. Okay? But these plants produce the scenario in the body for your body to produce. But the plants can't do it. And so if the plants can't do it, the medications can't do it. So if the plant gonna come in and create the environment for me to produce it, well, shit, I can bypass the pill and the plant and produce the shit myself. Come on now. You don't need me. What you need is your owner's manual. You need education, but you don't need no herbalist. You don't need no doctor. You don't need no, you just need to know thyself. Yourself, man. So for that funky, measly $50, you guys are interested in your owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you the information that you need. But you don't need me to be your lifetime herbalist because you're going to be your lifetime herbalist. I might not even be here for your lifetime. What if I live longer than you or die shorter than you? So you can't be dependent on me, baby. And we understand that in the new day. So the emphasis is not on my intelligence. The emphasis is on your own intelligence about you. And that's what you're getting with the owner's manual. And we getting sick and tired of y'all motherfuckers out here trying to sell us this bullshit. Teach me about me and leave me alone and let me be free. I don't have to depend on no doctor. I don't have to depend on no herbalist. I don't have to depend on no motherfucker thinking he this, he that, he this, he that. I teach myself what to do, and then I can perform the duties that are necessary for me to live out here. There's no codependency. We all are skillful. We all need each other, but we don't need each other for our livelihood as far as I need you or I'm going to die. We just need each other from kumbaya. I just need you to laugh with me. I need you to sing with me. I need you to touch me. I need you to you understand me? But I don't need you to struggle with me, and I don't need you to tell me shit. Because if we can just sing, laugh, and do all those things together, then that's all we need to do. If you can just be the ingredient in my environment that helps continue to keep my environment to where I can continue to sing, laugh. Because see, what breaks my singing is when you come in here crying. What breaks my laughing is when you come in here crying. What breaks my dancing is when you come in here mad. What's breaking my stuff, my bliss, is life stuff. So now if everybody just be in their own education of themselves and learning how important it is to be in bliss every day and stop running around here with your lip poked out because what a man done told you about life and start really delving into what God is revealing to you about life. Remember, we're trying to get you from Genesis to Revelation. You got to get the revelation, manifestation, revelation, manifestation. Okay? Revelation is a manifestation. We're trying to get you to learn how to manifest, how to revelate. So you got to get over here until it to be revealed to you so you can bring it back to your little life and apply the solution to your life. Okay. CJL Milo said, especially if the government shut down, man, especially moving forward. Look, I always been this type of brother. If I can't depend on you, then you know what? I'm gonna take over that little area that you in. Okay, when I was playing sports, if I can't depend on you, nigga, I got them rebound. I'll shoot the ball. I'll dribble, motherfucker. We gonna keep on making the mistake of passing you the ball, knowing that you can't play no basketball. I ain't gonna keep on making a mistake on you the ball, knowing you can't play no football. So you know what? Guess what? We'll get somebody else in there. So for me, you ain't got worry about the government shutdown for me because I had already shut down the government in my own life before the government shut down. Y'all are waiting for these folks to do this shit for y'all instead of living on your own free life. Way before the government shut down, I had already left the government. I left the government. Government ain't got to leave me. Y'all over there crying because the government left you. But you know that that's temporary, and you know that that's a fragile thing. In all the trials, I just told you that Psyche got tried, her soul got tried. All your ideas, all your forces of creation will get tried by fire to see what it is that you claim and that you know. And so that ain't no difference than nothing else. You sick right now because your body is being tried by that shit you doing. You are going through the things you're going through right now because your life is being tried by fire because of the shit that you say you know. And we finna see how well you say you know God. Because you talking about you've been in church 40 or 50 years, but you got high blood pressure, you got diabetes. We finna see, finna see how good your God is. See, you ain't thought about it like that, did you? Little Christian ass. You ain't thought about it like that, little Christian ass. Going to church, doing all this stuff. We finna see how good your God is. Because your life gonna get tried by fire. So instead, you're codependent on a system that you can already see going down. Y'all knew that when the man got voted in the second time, it was going to be some bullshit anyway. Y'all already knew that. But guess what? This ain't the first time he was in. This plan to leave that I'm in was a 5-year plan. So 2020, who was the president? Who was the president in 2020, man? You know? Huh? Who's the president in 2020, you know? America. Was it Trump still? Yeah, because that was COVID, right? Yeah, with Trump. 2020. Oh, it was Trump. 2020, that was COVID. No, that was Trump. 2020, right? That was COVID. 2019, 2020, that was Trump coming in. So what I'm saying is that I already knew then. We got to ride out. And so that's what I'm trying to get you to see is, can you see it? Can you be able to understand it before it comes? Can you manifest? Can you be discerning? And this is the stuff that you got to put your stuff together to be able to understand this stuff, okay? Can you be able to manifest? Okay? Now, I'm going to ask y'all this. Can you manifest? Put some ones in the chat if y'all can manifest. Put some ones in the chat if you feel like you can manifest. Put some ones in the chat if you feel like you can manifest. All right, I got some ones. No system should have all the power these systems have. You shouldn't be up on the system. The system is natural selection. Okay, so I got a lot of people saying that they feel like they can manifest. Okay, all right. So you know I will come back on y'all lad now and say then why the hell y'all sick for, but we ain't gonna do that to you. Okay, what you need to understand is what is it about my manifestation that may be spurting or maybe not having enough force that it needs to be to get me to where I need to be. Again, remember that I told you that a lot of y'all don't like the force of resistance. So when this comes, you either give up or this becomes too much for you. So it overwhelms you and you either give up in here or you don't know how to utilize this as the force, as the opportunity, as the encouragement, the motivation to do something. So you let this get you out of it. So let's say you wanted to be a doctor when you were little, but the force of resistance came and now your ass ain't nothing but a CNA. But really you wanted to be a doctor. You wanted to be a lawyer when you were little. But the force of resistance came in your life, and now you ain't nothing but a social worker. Okay? But the reality was that when you were little, you wanted to be a lawyer. Now you're still doing these things, right? You know, social worker has still been an advocate. A CNA is still, helping people in health, right? So you're still doing it, but not at the level. Why? Because of the force of resistance. It come in, it changes your plans for your life. Okay? It comes in and you begin to settle because you don't know how to use it as an opportunity. Okay? And that's the problem. So what I'm trying to do is get you to learn how to use y'all shit as an opportunity. Say, I can vouch. Ouch. Somebody said ouch. Okay. Some blockages. Yeah, so if you got blockages, that's blockages in your life. Okay? The microcosm is going to mimic or resemble the micro and vice versa. I wanted to be a doctor and am a life coach. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So you're still doing it, But at the end of the day, it's a little force of resistance that happens. What I'm saying is a lot of us don't want this. So when you don't want this, then you don't want the result. You don't want, if you don't want the resistance, you can't get over here. If you don't want the sickness, you can't get the healing. If you don't want the poverty, you can't get the rich. If you don't want the isolation, you can't get the community or family mind. Or get the community or family. It's because of how you're perceiving. So you're the one who labeled your shit a sickness. So therefore, the only thing that's opposite of that is the healing. You're the one who labeling your situation as an impoverished situation. So therefore, the only thing that you can do is find out how to circumvent the lack. Right? You're the one who call yourself lonely and isolated. That's the label you put on it. Well, okay. So the only thing that you can do is the opposite of that, which is to get yourself out and around people. So my point to you is that it's because of your perspective of resistance that is going to affect your perspective of creation. Then through all of this, distractions is the sickness, meaning the heart desire. Yeah, man. Please use a darker marker. It's hard to read the red. Yeah, I ain't even using red, Kimberly, but thank you. Thank you for explaining this. Yes, no problem, no problem, no problem. Yeah, I ain't even using red, Kimberly. That's orange. But I'm all out of markers. I've been doing this for a long time. So if y'all want to do a marker donation, you can. Okay, marker donation. Because goddamn it, I done bought 1,000 markers. All right. So we using up these markers every day. Fast as they come in. All right. Any other questions? Anybody got any questions thus far about how to get your owner's manual? You can DM me and we'll get you your owner's manual. Anybody else got any questions about any health concerns, mental illnesses, emotional illnesses, spiritual illnesses, anything like that? You guys can let me know. Put them up in the chat. We'll bring you up. We appreciate all of the love. You guys keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Again, this forces of nature, man. Look, these things are real. Okay. And all you got to do is just learn how to use them for your benefit. Okay. I DM you. Yes. Just DM me and we'll get you that information. Okay. Learn how to use these. Okay. Because once you get this down packed, again, you're the Harry Potter of this particular realm. You need to learn how to manifest. Okay. You need to learn how to manifest. All right. I have optic nerve damage. I'm trying to figure out how to get my vision back on site. Please, sweet thing, get your owner's manual. That's how you do it. Okay. You're not going to be able to get the remedy from a YouTube or TikTok. So I'm sorry that you would even come on here to try to think that somebody out here knows how to get you some sight. Okay. But the owner's manual will help you. Okay. But as far as somebody blurting out a herb for optic nerve, girl, don't you ever believe that the motherfucker telling you a couple of herbs is going to make you see. Okay. But there is a program that you can take your body through. And when you reprogram your body, then those things are very, very, very much attainable. I need to buy that manual. This is a must-have for me. Yes. Okay, early stages of dementia, what can be done to stop it? Yeah, if you got early signs of dementia, the only thing that can be done to stop it is you need to stop taking those statins. Okay, if you're taking cholesterol medication, if you got cholesterol problems, then that's going to be a big thing for your mind. Again, another thing is too the gut. Okay, your gut health, right? So you got to cleanse the gut. In order to have a clean brain, you got to have a clean gut. So we got to do some clean out, and we got to get this cholesterol thing down pat. Your brain food is cholesterol. Okay, your brain food is cholesterol. So therefore, if I get a cholesterol inhibitor like a statin, silverstatin, what do you want to call them? If I get a cholesterol inhibitor, yes, it will protect me from a heart disease, but it in return will give me a damn brain stroke or dementia. So it'll stop the heart attack, but it'll cause a stroke. So be careful. Yeah. So anything you got going on, it don't matter. So again, let me explain this to you so you can understand. So if you come back over here, you'll get it. If you don't, then it's cool. Okay. The owner's manual goes by your birthday. We don't chase diseases. Okay. Remember that the disease is death. So what we're doing is the death conscious. We're fighting against the death conscious. I don't give a damn about a disease. Because once you get into the right consciousness, then there's no disease that you can't win the world. So when you get your owner's manual already knew about all this shit you're going through from your birthday. So the herbs in the owner's manual is for you, not for dementia. Now, what do you need herbs for? Dementia or for you? For you. In order for you to cure the dementia, you need the herbs for you. We ain't giving you shit for dementia. We're giving you something for sweet thing. And you let the dementia do what it do when you get what you need. Okay? I ain't never gave an owner's manual for no disease. We ain't chasing AIDS, herpes, none of that shit. We chasing you, whoever your name is. So when you get your herb sweet thing, that's for whatever sweet thing get, including dementia, whatever sweet thing get. Okay? The herbs are for you. We don't chase diseases. That's really where people are fucking up at, trying to chase a disease, and they don't really understand. And so because you don't know that, out of your ignorance, you create industry. So again, you see these people give you lifetime of how they give you a lifetime of diabetes medication, a lifetime of autoimmune medication, and it is because they don't know what to do with it. Anytime that you have a uncurable, incurable, or a thing that feel like it just won't go away, it is spiritual. If it was physical, your body could heal it. When your body can't deal with it, it's because it's beyond the physical, it's spiritual. And some of y'all blood pressure is on the spiritual realm because it's more emotional. Some of y'all blood sugar is on the spiritual realm because it's more about your self-control issues. Some of y'all arthritis is spiritual because it's all about you moving around, can't sit down somewhere, and you stressed and anxiety, and your life ain't stable enough. You just on the go all the time. Some of this stuff is spiritual, dealing with your thyroid. It ain't always about your metabolism. It's about doubt and trust in some instances, especially when you guys are dealing with Hashimoto's and Graves' disease, this type of stuff. You got really big doubt, trust issues, and conspiracy theorist type of mindset. And so it is very big. Sometimes it ain't all about your eyes. On here, sweet thing, or whoever asked me about your eyes. Sometimes it ain't about your eyes. Sometimes it's about pituitary. Have you got your pituitary glands looked at? And on top of that is your delusion and loneliness. What is your perspective? And if your perspective is causing you to not see things in the world clear, then guess what? The macro becomes the micro. Are you on every day? What time? Yes, Miss Sharon Louise, on every day between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I'm in South Africa right now, so it is 5:26 p.m. So I'm about 6 hours ahead of you guys on the East Coast, but I can tell you it's a beautiful day. Okay, King, do I get it in the mail or PDF? You're going to get it in the PDF. What about cancer? Cancer, again, is a force of creation, right? So you need a force of resistance, okay? So that's what's going on with you, Mr. Smith, right? Cancer is a force of creation. So you need a force of resistance. So you got too much anabolic going on, and you need some catabolic, okay? So you need some things going into your mouth that's promoting breakdown, okay? And one of the biggest things for cancer that could promote the breaking down of things is peppers, hot peppers. I ain't talking about no goddamn bell pepper. I'm talking about that shit that burn your ass. Get some of that and create the environment that cancer don't even like to be in. Cancer hates high heat. It hates you having a fever. It hates you going out there sweating, and it's gonna damn sure hate you eating them peppers. Look, you guys, it's not rocket science out here how to do this stuff. It's not rocket science. It is not rocket science. Okay, let us teach you how to heal yourself. Get your owner's manual for a funky measly $50, and we can help you out. Okay, all right. Anything else? Do I got my YouTube on here? Y'all got questions? YouTube, I'm talking to y'all too. Don't be looking at me talking to these TikTok folk, motherfucker. We talking y'all at too in YouTube land. What is it that you need? What is it that you got going on? Let us know. Put it in the chat, and we'll be able to help you out. If you're interested in your owner's manual, please DM us, and we'll get you the need. And you don't have to be an American. You don't have to be black. You don't have to know English. You can get your owner's manual. Okay, so it's not about that. Oh, can you only get it because you're black, or only for the black people, for Americans? No, anybody get the owner's manual. Email can go anywhere, so you're gonna get it via email. Okay, that makes sense. Herb, what's your take on meat? My take on food, period, in general, is that I don't really have a take on it, right? I don't really give a damn about what you eat. It's about how often you're eating what you're eating. Okay, you can eat meat if you want to, but if you only eat once a day, how egregious can it be? But if you eat meat 3, 4 times a day, come on, pimp, that's on you. That's your fault. So I don't give a damn about what you eat. It's about how often you're eating it. Okay. So for me, if you're not growing your own food, then be very moderate with what you put in your mouth. Okay. Where do I DM you? You're gonna DM me here on TikTok, Gary Clark. You DM me here on TikTok, man. Just go to the DMs. Pituitary tumor in the brain. Yes, KK. So the pituitary tumor in the brain, that's what I was trying to tell you about. It can start for blindness, right? Also, that pituitary tumor, remember that pituitary is overgrowth and development. I keep telling y'all this, right? So if it's overgrowth and development and you got a tumor, that means that you're doing what? Forces of creation. You don't have enough catabolic stuff going on, okay? You don't have enough catabolic stuff going on. So therefore, what we need to do, we need to introduce to the body things that will create the catabolism, which means to break down. Well, what breaks down better than peppers? All y'all know that when you eat a pepper, you're going to go take a shit. Okay? Peppers is breaking this shit down, okay? Garlic in your mouth break shit down. Ginger in your eye break shit down. Ginger in your body break shit down. Cayenne pepper. Turmeric ain't hot enough for me. I know y'all love turmeric. Turmeric is okay for digestive issues, but it ain't hot enough for me to do enough catabolism, right? So from my point to you is that a pituitary tumor in the brain, the first thing that I would have been looking for, and you probably know this, KK, but it would have been your aldosterone. Okay, your aldosterone levels. Okay, did they tell you anything about your aldosterone levels? Just let me know that, and then we'll keep talking. I was diagnosed with again, that's doctor shit. Okay, I'm not a doctor, so I don't do doctor's diagnosis. And furthermore, Tyrone, if the doctor know what the hell going on, why can't they fix it? So I don't want your word, because it ain't that. I don't want your word. I don't want them to tell me what it is and they can't fix it. So I don't want to take their diagnosis. Because if they know what it is and can't fix it, come on, man. Just because it's not that. I want to get an honest man for my father-in-law. Danny, you know how to do it, DM me. How do I DM you a measly little $50? William, you DM me here. Okay, then I'll get you to my company stuff. Okay, you DM me on TikTok. With TikTok, I don't work with TikTok. Now I don't work for TikTok either. I am old and crazy. Isn't this the DM? Gary, somebody help Gary. Because this damn show ain't no DM. Mucus build up. We don't understand that. Is there a way to protect yourself from the unhealthy elements in the air and put it in our food? Yes, grow your own food. Okay. Walk through the forest and walk around waters, big bodies of water. So ocean, when you're walking around the ocean and you're walking around the forest, it cleans the air. Okay. And it actually is going to be very neutralizing to your ions, which means that it's going to be very good for oxidative stress, which means it helps you with anti-aging. Okay, so walking through the forest, walking around bodies of water that produce that neutralizing ionic atmosphere that's going to help out with any kind of oxidative stress in the body. So that's supplemental. Okay, so if you want clean air, you got to get around things that clean the air, and the water in the forest does that. It's a blood cancer. It don't matter what kind of name they put on it. We got you. Get your honest man. I thank you. I have a typo. I do appreciate the information. I will be DMing you. Okay. I pay the invoice. How long before I get the manual? I'm obsessed about it. I think you are the truth. Okay, Gary, calm down though. Okay. Calm down. I appreciate you, but calm down. Now, matter of fact, you should already have your Gary. Look in your email, man. Look in your email, and if it's not there, then check your spam folder. Okay, Gary, because you should already have your by now. I think we emailed you yours a couple of days ago. All right. Anybody else? Laugh aloud. I don't have cancer because I have too many hot flashes. There you go, Keto. Keto said, look here, I'm keeping them cancer away by these goddamn hot flashes. Hey, I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? However we need to do it. Let's understand one thing though. Anybody out there, the sound of my voice that is listening to this video today, all I wanted you to understand is that you must understand your opportunities, okay? These things that are happening to you are deafening in one perspective, but they are also opportunities in the other. And if you can take control, if you got any kind of understanding of trying to take control of a situation, you must understand the recipe. And polarity is the recipe for your issue. And I promise you that if you put the time in to doing what you need to do, you can get over your situation, and it'll be a miracle. It'll be this, that, and the third. But miracles happen in this higher consciousness. That's where your miracles are at. That's where your opportunities are at. That's where your dreams, that dream life, that dream state, that's where it's at. Another thing that I wanted to ask you guys as well is, I said something the other day, and I put it on the live, man, and it's true. You guys don't have to die. Y'all might not understand that, and I know I'm before my time teaching this. Okay, I know that, and it probably ain't gonna be solidified for another 200, 300, 400 years from now. But this is the beginning of that consciousness, and I ain't really the beginning of it, because if y'all believe in Jesus, the same shit, everlasting life. This is the message from the messenger. How do you get everlasting life? You guys think that you should die, and that's the lie. And once you get over that lie, you'll understand more and more and more who I am, about what I'm trying to do. Whatever it is that you feel like helping my family out with, understand that you're helping out a good cause, because a brother trying to show you that that's got lost in the sauce. And how can somebody go down there and take the keys of death and do this, that, and the third, but your ass is still in the casket that's holding you for forever? It's holding you. It might didn't hold Jesus, but it's holding your ass. So it's something that you don't know, that you're reading, that you're not figuring out, because you're still dying the same old death. Then you don't supposed to die if you're a believer of Christ. Okay. And so now we got to understand is, what is that? The point I get you to see. Everlasting life comes from the consciousness, not from anything else. So there's opportunities in your life where you bro, I don't want to talk to you, man. Stop coming up on my line like, especially you foreigner, man. I don't know who you is. You know what I'm saying? I can't even read your name, pimp. So why would I bring you up on the line? Okay. So now, here's the thing. When you're looking at healing, or when you're looking at this whole paradigm, okay, you must understand the key components in it. All right. So I'm gonna ask y'all a question. We die every day. We die every day. Every one of us die every day without dying. What is that? Okay. First person to answer the question. If you got a birthday, you can come over on your birthday. First person to answer the question. If you got a birthday, I'll do your birthday. Then we're gonna ride up out of here. Danny Posley, you the first person. I already did your thing though. Okay. Sleep. There you go. There you go. So do you got to goddamn die to the end death? No, you sleep. So guess what? Duh, y'all. Guess what? Wake up. Wake up now, so I can knock your ass back out, put you back to sleep. Now guess what? The sleep is where you go and get the shit without dying. You don't have to die to go to heaven, because you sleep and you can go there in your dreams. You can sleep and dream of this bliss, this peace, this love, this sweetness, this kindness, this contentment, this serenity. You can dream it. You don't have to die it. You can dream heaven. You don't have to die it. You can live heaven. You don't have to die it. And with that being said, you guys, man, I love you, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate all of y'all, man. If you guys want to get your owner's manual, please DM me and we'll get you that information, okay? But it is through these things. That's all I'm trying to show you. The sleep state, the sing state, the dance state, the cry state, all of these are going to be the same thing. They're allowing you to be able to get these epiphanies, these dreams. And in these dreams, they're going to come back with things, okay? So in your dreams, is symbols. Like this. Okay? So here's the thing about the Bible. The Bible is a book of parables, right? Or wrong? At least that's what they told you. They said that the Bible is a book of parables, right? So your dreams are symbols, pictures, parables. Your dreams are pictures. So the spirit comes through you in your dream and shows you symbols, parables. So all the people in your dreams are parables. That means that you got to be able to learn how to decode your dreams, like you got to learn how to decode the Bible. They're parables. They're pictures, the people, but they mean principles. There are people that means principles. Okay. Now, that's so now, but the epiphany, the lightning bolt, the epiphany. The epiphany is the light. Okay? The light. So again, you got symbols, the spirit make it symbols, and then the spirit brings you the light. You got the epiphany, the light bulb came on. So did the spirit brought it to light. The word became flesh. The word in your dream, you decoded it and you got the epiphany. I know what the hell I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be at, who I'm supposed to be with, what everything. Why? Because it just hit me, man. The light bulb just came on, dog. I know who the fuck I am now. I'm goddamn HerbMan. I've been walking around this bitch all the time, being jailhouse man, prison man, not knowing who the hell I'm supposed to be until I realized, god damn it, the unction, the epiphany, the Christ consciousness moment. When he was baptized and came up and they said that the fire from heaven came, the epiphany. It said, now you are my son. Now you my son. They got you get baptized with this fire. The epiphany, the light bulb. That's all we're trying to get you to do. We know this science. We believe this to be the oldest way to being able to teach this information, you guys. I know this is 2025, and I know that this is an ancient relic, but we can do it, and we need this now more than ever because the way that the world is going and the way that man is getting cold and rigid and is starting to get back into this animalistic format. And when you get back into your animalistic format, yeah, again, you remember that you are the judge. So you ain't got no God now when you become one. Okay, remember that you wanted to become God, Adam and Eve, right? You wanted to become. So that means man is going to judge you. Man is going to commit violence against you. Man is going to kill you. And man is going to birth you until you're able to relinquish that up again, your godliness up back to nature, and then allow nature selection to do it and be comfortable with nature selection. Then, unfortunately, until then, you will be under man selection. And the man wants you to leave here. You got the power to do that until you change the destiny of mankind. I love you guys, man. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please go tell somebody about your homie HerbMan. And until next time, love HerbMan. Peace. Woosay! Woos asleep over there.